Hey guys, thanks for everyone for being here and for this opportunity. Thanks for having me. For all you veterans, thanks so much, because if it weren't for the history of our veterans, I wouldn't be speaking English, I'd still be speaking Spanish. It's great, it's an honor to be here. I am running for District 4. I know a lot of you are going, oh my God, you're wasting your time. Well, don't be so quick. You know, District 4 is interesting, and lots of things have been going on in District 4, and I think hitting the ground and peeling off some of the Democrat vote with the excitement that we have on the conservative side, we have a real shot this year. If ever there was a year, it would be this year. So we're going to be doing a lot of work in a lot of those areas trying to peel off some of that Democrat vote, but I'll also be making appearances in other areas as well to keep our base fired up. Some of you may recognize me maybe from 2010. I did make a run in 2010. That was my first time getting into the realm of running for office. What I've been doing since then is, after 2010, I got very heavily involved with the fair tax, and I've seen lots of shirts and stickers, so that is great. The consumption tax is something that we definitely need. But I also, just to give you a little bit of background, in 2012 I was diagnosed and I had a little battle with cancer, but I have since recovered. And going through that and learning some of the things that I learned and seeing some of the things that I saw, I just couldn't sit back and allow Hank Johnson to run unopposed this time. So I just had that little bit of compelling feeling that, you know what, he can't run unopposed. Somebody's got to bring a lot of this to light, what's going on in District 4 as well as the country. So with that, I'm all yours. Is it okay if I stand?
Yes, it is. Please, I can see you.
I think I can project better.
Victor, let me say personally, I'm very glad to have you back. I do remember you very well from 2010, so welcome back. The first question we have relates to the National Department of Education. Many of the directives that are handed down to our school system come from the National Board of Education. My question is, what ideas do you have for making our education system better?
Well, first and foremost, especially in District 4, where we have a huge minority population, education is huge for not just everyone, but when you look at the minority population where they can't pick a school, they can't choose a school, if they're in a bad school or such an area, are they really learning anything, or are we pumping these kids out to just go to a life of crime? Or, you know, the opportunity is what needs to be there. For me, when I look at the Department of Education, that is one of the biggest departments that I think we should shut down immediately.
Yes.
The federal government should completely step away from education. It needs to be on the local level. We need more charter schools. We need voucher systems. I mean, there's so many things that we could do. If we were truly wanting to help people, and think about it, if you really do educate a child from kindergarten to the elementary to high school, they don't have to have the 4-year college. They don't have to have, I don't have an Ivy League college degree. There are plenty of manufacturing jobs. If we could bring those back, we could have technical schools. So there are so many different things we could do to really, really help education, really help, and it's going to start with getting the federal government out of it, getting it on the local level. Let's get the voucher system going. Let's get some charter schools going, and let's really help the students so that they can actually be productive in society.
Thank you.
The American people have come under terrorist attack in the last several years, and more than ever. What are your recommendations to make Americans feel safer domestically and abroad?
Well, first of all, we have to recognize there is an enemy out there. It may not be a country holding up a flag saying we hate America, which, come on, some of them do. But we have an enemy out there. We have a group of people who are radicalized. And I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whatever, they want to kill you because you're an American. You stand for freedom and liberty, or at least some of us do. But America on the whole, when the country looks at it, I mean, let's look at what America used to stand for. My father came here on a student visa from Mexico. He did it the right way. He came here and worked as a bartender. He worked as a waiter. He bussed tables. He did all those things. Ended up learning English and retiring CFO of a company here in Atlanta. So if a Mexican from Mexico can come here the right way and do that and assimilate, then don't tell me that Americans can't do it. So, and the reason why I mention that is if you look outside the countries when they look at us, we used to be America, the land of the free. And now what are we? How do they look at us? We're America, the land of the free stuff. So you've got a class of people that are going to come over here and want that, but you've got in that mix of people coming over because they want that land of the free stuff, they're coming through the border, what's happening? We're going to get terrorists that are, let's face it, if you think they're not smart enough they're already dark, they're going to learn Spanish, you think they can't come through the southern border? They're kidding yourself. So we have to start and secure the border like a lot of our candidates are saying, but we have to do it. The action is something that we have to show. Words mean anything. For the past 6 years I've seen people talk about the border, but we haven't done anything. So in order for the Americans to feel safer, we have to start showing them that we really are going to do something. So we've got to beef up the border. We have to beef up our military, whether that's more spending. You know what? We should do more spending on military and not so much on these ridiculous programs that are out there. And that will all aid in fighting terrorists.
Thank you. Okay, those are candidates.
Is that it for this?
That's it.
Do we have time for one more?
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
look that up.
Well, I really got
This is a question that actually affected me personally recently. Federal Real ID laws that tied the expiration of a legal immigrant's driver's license to that of his green card are creating an issue where the immigrant's unable to drive because of severe delays at ICE. The time to process a green card renewal is currently 9 months. You can only apply 6 months in advance. That means a driver's license will expire for 3 months before your renewal is approved. Probably not going to get anywhere on immigration as a whole. What can we do, though, to fix the current system for people who are here legally and they're being affected by this kind of bureaucracy?
First of all, it's the bureaucracy. If we can't step back, get into these agencies and say, there's way too much bureaucratic fat, and pull that back, we're not going to be able to streamline. I mean, imagine, look at technology today. There's no reason that we can't have streamline a process where if you've got a green card, and my father did for years, where it pops up. Here's the deadline, here's the thing, the internet. I mean, we can use technology that could really be a stopgap there so that there's not that this is expiring but your license not, or your license expiring and your green card's not. I remember, gosh, growing up, watching my father have to worry about, okay, my green card, do I have to get, I mean, he spent so much time in immigration that he helped others after, and he was one of the big members of the Mexican American Association and the Chamber of Commerce, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, helping people with the green card issue, and that was probably one of the issues. But the biggest thing that I heard and do hear is the bureaucratic, I mean, it's roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. And let's face it, if you're here legally and you did it the right way, we should be bending over backwards to continue to help and continue to work that out so that there's not an overlap in license. If you're here legally with a green card, you shouldn't have trouble renewing things, and especially when it comes as simple as driving. If you're here and you're doing it the right way and you're working and you're producing, I would bend over backwards for those rather than kind of the way we're backwards now. I mean, you look at all the people that come here the right way and they want to work and they want to do the right thing, but we're catering to the crowd that wants the free stuff, because especially in the last 6 years, we have kind of become this land of the free stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One more here, Victor. You already covered this in your intro, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Many of our states do not collect income tax in some form for those that work in the state in favor of some form of consumption tax. The consumption tax is often paid by people that do not live in the state. Do you have any ideas how this type of tax structure can be implemented nationally?
Absolutely. HR 25 is a bill that's been in the House and on the Senate for at least 9 or 10 years. But that is the fair tax legislation. Yeah, maybe 15. Did you say somebody did? Okay, so.
Well, it was introduced in 1999 by John Lander.
Right.
Does that make 15 years?
I think you're right on.
I think it makes us old.
Yeah, hey, you're making me feel a little older, that's okay. That bill, that one, HR 25, which is the fair tax, which is a consumption tax, would be the largest transfer of power from the federal government to the people since the revolution. There is no better plan, and it's the most studied plan I've ever put forth to Congress. I mean, a bill that was actually studied by outsiders, by businessmen, actually read, and it has been shown that it would fire up this economy, I mean exponentially. You'd have to hide from a job, basically, under the fair tax system. But people tell me, oh, we can't do it, we can't do it. We're Americans. Don't tell me that we can't take a big idea and make it happen.
Yeah.
So that is the biggest thing that just drives me crazy. Tell the minority of the population that fought England, tell them that it was too big of an idea for freedom and liberty. So don't tell me the fair tax can't happen. It really can. I think we might have to do a little bit better job of explaining what a consumption tax is. But everyone I explain it to, they usually look at me and go, why haven't we done this? Because if you truly wanted to help from the poorest all the way up the chain, the consumption tax is the way to do it. It's just going to create jobs. It's going to create money in the pocket. And I don't know about you, but I can spend my money better than the federal government can. So, and that's the way we need to start looking at this. But by all means, the consumption tax is the way to go.
Thank you,
Thank
Victor.
Thank you.
I think that's all we have time for this, and I believe you get 2 minutes for a closing statement.
All right. Bye. No. Again, thanks for having me so much. And if anyone has any questions, I'll be in the back. Don't hesitate to come up and talk to me. If any of you want to host a meet and greet or just want me to come somewhere, ask. You can find my email address on my website. The website it's up, but we haven't completed it yet, but it does have my contact info, so anyone can contact me. But again, I know this is a tough road, but let me tell you, if there's one thing I've learned, is don't tell me I can't do something. And I learned that from a father who came here who couldn't speak English and learned English. He met my Georgia Peach mom who made him learn English. But my father always told us growing up, he told me, my brothers, and my sisters, you will get a command of the English language before you learn Spanish. And that's what he did in our household. He wouldn't speak Spanish to us. He had an incredible accent that he still has today, which he will tell you that he doesn't have. But we grew up with you're American first. And a lot of people will go, oh, you're Mexican-American, you're Mexican-American. Well, you know what? I'm an American first, I'm Mexican descent. But America's where it's at. There's a reason that people come here, and we have to light that light again. Because there is no country like the United States. And I know we've had some rough times. I mean, the past 6 years, 7 years hasn't been great, but you know what? I've said it before and I'll say it again. We are Americans. And if there's one thing you can't do to an American, is tell them they can't do something. You unleash American ingenuity, and look what happens. I mean, it's just amazing. So don't tell me that we have a new norm of a 2% GDP economy. Please. We could grow this economy 4% with our eyes closed if we had the right policies. So that's one thing I plan to do. There's a question.
What's your website address?
It's victorforcongress2016.com.
Thank you.
So, thanks again, everybody. Oh,
Do you know about the Article 1 project?
no, I'm not familiar with it.
Whoa, it's big.
Okay.
It's big.
I will look into that.
Yeah, I've written your note.
Perfect.
It's huge.
See, I don't know everything, but I can learn.
Well, combined with immigration, those two things, and fair tax, the Article 1, well, it's what it says.
Okay.
to bring Article 1 back into power so that Congress has the power of the purse.
Well, the sovereignty for the United States.
Sovereignty, yes.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. And just real quick, I have family in Mexico, like I said before, and I spent a lot of time there. I will go down and put the first nail in that wall if I have to. That's how important securing the border is. So if we have to put a wall or a fence or whatever, I'll help build it. But if we don't do that, we're going to have too many. We're opening ourselves up to disaster. Not just people coming over for free stuff, but terrorists. And you know what? If we don't recognize that, it's going to be too late, and then we're going to be cleaning up an awful mess. So, thanks again.
Thank you so much.